I have beside me a really awesome gaming monitor, or perhaps at this size it's more akin to a TV. This is the Asus ROG Swift OLED PG42UQ. As you can tell, it's a 42-inch OLED gaming monitor slash TV. And to cut straight to the chase, well, it's a really awesome monitor. And if you're even thinking about getting it, just get it. It's really awesome. So, right off the bat, let's talk about specs because there's quite a lot to go through. Now, first and foremost, if you're familiar with the LG C2 OLED TV, this is basically using the same exact panel, except with a few tweaks and optimizations courtesy of Asus. So we have a 45.1-inch OLED panel running a 4K resolution in a standard 16:9 with a maximum overclock refresh rate of 138Hz. The panel is also 10-bit capable and will also cover 100% sRGB and up to 98% DCI-P3 with a typical brightness of about 450 nits in SDR mode and up to a peak brightness of about 800 nits in HDR mode with support for HDR10. Additionally, it is G-Sync compatible. Overall, it is quite similar to the LG and rightfully so, but there are a few key differences and we start off with the I/O. Unlike the LG, which features 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, the Asus drops that down to just 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, with the other 2 being standard HDMI 2.0 instead. But in return, you do actually get a single DisplayPort 1.4 with support for DSC. For most PC users, we dare say that this is definitely preferred. You also get plenty of other things, such as optical audio, 3.5mm headphone jack, and a USB hub with 4 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports in various locations, including one up top to easily pair with webcam thanks to the presence of a 1/4-inch mount on the top. It is pretty clear that Asus has tweaked and optimized this monitor for desktop use, but it doesn't stop there. One other neat feature is the fact that this monitor wakes up from sleep really fast, just under 5 seconds in all of our experiences, be it with a desktop, a MacBook, or perhaps a console like the Xbox Series X. In addition, there is an auto switch function in which when the active device turns off, it automatically switches to the other device that's connected. Everything is just really snappy, just like you would expect from a monitor, and that's just really great. Now, one of the biggest issues with using an OLED TV as your primary monitor for desktop use is the way that OLED TVs kind of manage the sustained screen brightness with a function usually called ABL, or Automatic Brightness Limiter. When you have a very small window of white on screen, a document for example, you'll notice that it can get really bright and nearly pure white. But as soon as you expand that window to fill a quarter of the screen, half or all the way to full, you'll find that the brightness will drop tremendously accordingly. Well, Asus has implemented a feature called Uniform Brightness, and it does almost exactly as what it says. What it does is limit the upper max brightness possible and sets a minimum brightness threshold that the display cannot fall under. To our understanding, that minimum threshold is about 200 nits. However, in reality, there is still a little bit of a change in brightness when you do all that. It's just less aggressive. We would say that it definitely isn't perfect, and it definitely could be improved, but as compared to most of the other OLED offerings out there, especially from the TV side of things, this is definitely a much better implementation, and would say, for now, it's possible. But in any case, how is the gaming experience? Well, suffice to say, it's been awesome. Over the course of a month, we've managed to put it through its paces by playing a variety of games with it. Using a PC and the Xbox Series X, we played games like Halo Infinite, Genshin Impact, Ori, and Valorant, and more. With either the PC or the Xbox, you can be rest assured that you'll be using the full capabilities of this display, supporting the full 4K resolution and up to 120Hz or 138Hz overclocked, especially for the PC. The image quality is just gorgeous with OLED, and it really provides you that extra punch in visual fidelity that really makes it stand out from the competition full of IPS and VA offerings. This is especially so when you take a game like Ori, which has a beautiful art direction and design, or a game like Genshin Impact, where the overworld is simply filled with beautiful scenes of vibrant colours. You really feel that you're part of the game and it's just breathtaking to look at. The only thing you do really have to consider is space, or rather the lack thereof, especially for comfort, and more so when you play games, or maybe you're interested in games like first-person shooters like Halo or Valorant. While it's still going to be fantastic, we do find that sitting at a general usual distance away from the monitor might be a little tough on the eyes, especially if you can't change the FOV settings in-game. We would suggest moving slightly further away for a better experience, and for some, to even possibly reduce headaches. Additionally, playing with a controller might be preferable as well. Or you can also use the built-in aspect control function that Asus has implemented. Using the OSD, you can quickly shift the size of the overall usable area of the monitor down to 24 inches, 27 inches, or even go ultra-wide with 34 inches. While this feature isn't really anything new in the industry per se, the resulting experience is honestly pretty stellar, especially because of OLED. The unusable areas are black, and they remain truly black since the pixels just turn off, so you wouldn't get that grey tinge like you would with a standard backlit type display. Now, apart from gaming, it's also going to perform equally well for consuming content such as your favourite series or movies from Netflix or Disney Plus and more. Coupled with a pretty decent built-in speaker setup with two 10-watt speakers and a single 15-watt woofer, you'll also be getting plenty of sound without any additional setup. Now obviously, pairing a headset for your gaming experience is still going to be the better way to, well, game. But if you're just listening to music on the side or perhaps having a video playing in the background, this is definitely more than adequate. So we've established the fact that this monitor is really great for gaming and entertainment, but what about productivity? Needless to say, with a 4K resolution at 42 inches, there is plenty of room. If you're just using the monitor with a standard PC, you can easily have two windows open side by side with plenty of space for text, or even 3 or 4 with ease, especially if you're on Windows 11. Additionally, we do have to mention that text is really clean and sharp thanks to the sub-pixel layout, which anyone can definitely appreciate. The monitor also supports picture-by-picture or picture-in-picture layouts with different inputs. So you can have your PC and console connected and have it displayed at the same time. It's all up to you. But now, of course, one major thing to be really concerned about with OLED is burn-in, and rightfully so. Well, Asus has implemented quite a few features to kind of combat that. One of which is the custom heatsink inside the monitor. According to Asus, it allows up to 8% lower temperatures, and in effect, it provides better OLED performance and especially longevity. To top it off, it's a fanless design which ensures total silent operation. The other is the little feature where if you leave the monitor on and inactive for 8 hours, a pixel cleaning notification will pop up, and if you leave it unattended, it will pop up again every subsequent 4 hours. Now if you do turn off the monitor, pixel cleaning will begin automatically and will take about 5 minutes to complete. In the event you turn on the monitor before the process is completed, not only will you experience a longer boot up time than usual, but that same notification will reappear once every 4 hours yet again. On the other hand, you can also initiate this process anytime via the use of the OSD. Now at this point, we are pretty sure that most of you might already be comparing this with the LG C2, and rightfully so because both of them are really similarly priced. The LG C2 cost $1399 US or 2449 Singapore dollars, while the Asus PG42UQ cost $1399 US or 2549 Singapore dollars. But those prices listed are MSRP. Nowadays, you can definitely find the LG C2 going for about $100 to $200 US cheaper, especially when on sale, and perhaps even more so leading up to the year-end sales. So at this point, you're kind of getting a really similar experience but forking out quite a bit less. Or are you? Honestly, Asus has done a really good job with the ROG Swift OLED PG42UQ, and we dare say that it is worth that extra bit of cash for it, especially if you're going to be using it with a PC. Having a DisplayPort is a huge benefit, and so are the other nifty things like a USB 3.2 Gen 2 hub, the matte coding, the implementation of uniform brightness, and a fast wake from sleep amongst other things. Now all these upgrades might be small in itself, but you add them all up and they do count for quite a bit more. The overall experience with the Asus PG42UQ is definitely much better than an LG C2 when it comes to desktop usage. And honestly, we definitely do think that it is worth that amount of cash. That bit extra makes a huge difference. What to say, it's a really awesome gaming monitor. And if you're even thinking about it, just get it. It is pretty darn good. Well, if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section down below. If you'd like to, do check out our affiliate links as well. If you do, thanks for the support. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Till the next one. See ya!